That's that real talk. 24/7, it's time to halo. 24/7, nothing but the truth, we got that real talk. 24/7, that's that real talk. 24/7, it's time to halo. 24/7, nothing but the truth, we got that real talk.
Welcome back to the Real Talk Mentor Show. We just we had a great time last week, episode 1. Those who missed it, you missed out big time. But we're here back again, episode 2. Black History Month is over, it's finished. But it's not finished for us, is it? It's not finished for Real Talk Mentors, because we've said that we're going to be intentional, we're going to be unapologetic about moving forward, about how we discuss Black awareness, how we tap into areas of Black history, and how we start to uplift our culture. Without Black history, there's no history. And so we believe it's got to continue, it's got to keep flowing through. So without much further ado, I'm just going to introduce our panel of co-hosts and guests. Stephen, you'd like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Stephen Young. I've been working with Real Talk for quite a while now. I'm a teacher, I work in South London, and I'm a mentor and a coach. One of the things that I kind of look at is the mindset of young people. So I kind of do a program called You're the Business, where we look at a successful business and we try and transfer those kind of skills for young people's personal development. So we look at, things like teamwork and negotiation, and we try to give those young people those kind of skills so they can say to themselves, you're the business.
Brilliant, excellent. And as you rightly said, Stephen, we've worked together now for over a year or so, 18 months or so.
That's right, yeah.
It's been a great partnership, as it were.
Yeah.
And going forward, it's all about collaboration, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's so many different entities where people want to be separate, they're not moving together, and they don't achieve the desired results. But we've been working together, young children all the way, and I think there's been some changes and some
Brilliant,
so
really good.
Brilliant, lovely working with you. Our guest today, Sarah.
Hello, I'm Sarah Martin. I've trained as a coach and a mentor in the past. I've worked in schools as a teaching assistant, also as a parent governor. And I want to kind of use these skills to work more holistically with people, to improve their lives and also inspire other people to do the same kind of thing. Once you've learnt skills, to pass them on to others.
Yeah, brilliant. Nice meeting you, Sarah, because that's one of the things that we like to kind of pride ourselves on, really, is about paying it forward, passing and nurturing good information down the line. You're very cool and calm and relaxed. I think that's that's a good infusion, isn't it, for young people, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah, brilliant, okay. Our next guest, Guled.
Me?
Yes, you, sir.
Okay. My name's Guled Hassan. I'm currently a personal trainer.
Okay.
I represent a brand called Inspired for Change, but I'm collabed with Real Talk, and I'm grateful to be working with such a great organisation. I go uni, I study health and social care. I've done a bit of work with probation services where I've taught probation officers how to treat inmates that are coming out of prison. Because I feel that they're emotionally neglected, and it's just like a task and a job for them. So I literally just try to train them up, to show them how prisoners need to be treated, how they need to be healed up a bit, and for them to come out into society on a more positive note. So yeah,
brilliant,
what's up?
Brilliant, great work. Okay, Charisse.
Hi, my name is Charisse. I am a graduate from Criminology and Social Policy. I have worked in the children's home, I've worked in a prison as well, in a youth offending prison, doing administration work, and my aspirations is to be a youth justice officer and influence policy in the youth justice criminal system.
Excellent, love that. You see, so what we have here is a collaboration of, what I'm hearing is passion. That we're pursuing something. When you're running after something, you want the end result, and it's passion that's coming out from all of your areas, your niche areas. And I believe that this is what young people need, isn't it? They need to see this role modeling experience. So we mentioned Black history. It's over. It's been a few weeks. There's been the sort of traditional stuff, but we've tried to bring different aspects to it. And we want to be intentional. And really unapologetic about how we move forward. We'll keep on saying it's not for 1 month. The heritage of us as a people is too rich and too deep to just comb in a month, isn't it? Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Definitely.
So what do you think should be done to?
Well, we can't really rely on the schools to present a fair and balanced view of history. You know, we see the same thing regurgitated year after year, Henry VIII and the Vikings and whatnot. So there definitely has to be education within the home, but you know, we don't always have the parents or the adults that would be the teachers educated themselves. So we definitely need to have those that do know sharing it in various ways, various platforms to reach more people within the community.
Okay. Black History Month is finished. So one of the things that's popping up is this word of community. Yeah, but there was community before. Yeah, and we're looking for this setup now where we can start to remember. You know, we just say the word remember loosely, don't we? But do we know what does remember actually mean? So if I said remember, it means that the part is that something happened before. There was something in place before. Yeah. So when you remember, it's that you're connecting back to what it was before. Does that make sense? Yeah. So when we talk about the community now, the community aspects, I said the message that's coming from it said we should now look to tap more into the community feel. You know, when our parents came over, it was the community, I believe, that held them together. Yeah. That gave some sort of ethos as to, you know, coming into a foreign land, not knowing anybody, work-wise, educational, social structure and whatnot. It was a community that was held, yeah? So it's from that standpoint, is it something that you also agree with, or is it from the message, would you agree with that, Stephen?
I think it's important. I think we need to have a community spirit back again. I think, you know, when you speak to people, they say, back in the good old days. So back in the good old days was like when everyone had respect, you know, if you saw your mum's friend walking the street, you carry her shopping in, you know, and you knew everyone in your community. And I think we need to have that back again. I think, you know, there's too much infighting. We need to have that community spirit where everyone knows everyone and look out for everyone as well and support everyone, you know, and if we can have that back again, I think we'll be really, really strong.
So we're talking about values, aren't we? So core values.
Core values.
Love and respect and so forth.
Simple values.
Okay. Now, Guled, Guled mentioned, I was going to quickly jump over this in terms of people that have been incarcerated, people that have been in prison, yeah? And you mentioned there's a certain kind of fear that when people have been in prison and they come out, how do they then assimilate back into the community? Yeah, because there's now a stigma, isn't there? They're now stigmatized in terms of getting a job, accommodation, all the basic things that we would take for granted, yeah? You know, what's your take on that?
Basically, obviously, when people come out of prison, I believe it's a big fear in it, because I'm an ex in prison. I used to be in prison myself, so I'm an ex-convict myself. And to be honest with you, when I was coming out of prison, it was kind of daunting for me to come out. I was kind of scared, because I spent a few years behind the door, but I didn't know what was waiting for me in place out there. And I knew that the probation service has let me down in the past, so it's really scary. So man, like if people, like if me, you, someone, we went round to prisons and stuff and just put a bit of hope into people and let them know, don't worry, we got you, and at this, you've got a bit of support, you just need to believe in yourself. That alone can take people a long way, man.
People,
yeah man, 100%.
Okay. So it's going back to the we're talking foundational issues now, isn't it? Because I think we talked on the last show that we so much deal with the symptoms, we so much deal with symptomatic issues.
Yes.
You know, we're going to touch slightly on the, you know, what's going on, obviously, the knife crime, the gun crime, whatnot. Look, those things are not because necessarily people are bad, are they? It's because of whatever foundational elements are running in their psyche and in their community. Then we then see that fallout.
Yeah.
So doesn't it make sense? Go on.
Yeah, sorry. There's another thing. Yeah, I've realised. Yeah, as I was growing up. Yeah, obviously, I've got 6 siblings. Yeah?
Okay.
All of us are boys. And I've got 1 sister.
Right.
So my mum, she dealt with us because we went into the criminal justice system at an early age.
Okay.
I went to prison when I was 15.
Okay.
You understand? So my mum used to be ashamed to tell people. You understand? So she could have got support, but she was just more ashamed of what other people would think about her. So now, this day and age, we shouldn't be ashamed We should come together. All right, cool. If your son's in trouble, don't worry. My son's been there. Or if my son hasn't been there, my son probably gonna experience that in his time when he gets older. So you have to come together, because my mom used to be ashamed. Like, everyone used to point fingers at my mom and say, you know what? Oh, look at her son. They always come in and out of prison and stuff like that. But now
just kind of judgmental thing,
and
wasn't it?
now it's becoming a flip side where their children are going into prison. See, karma hits them in a way. Understand? I'm not saying karma is bad, but if they was actually supportive, and instead of pointing fingers and say, you know what, would you like me to come visit your son in prison? Would you like me to come to court, see how it is, go see a solicitor? That just makes us as a community, man.
So it goes back
That's
to
what we
this
need,
whole
man.
thing.
Yeah, man, it's foundation.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, you have to build that foundation. Once we've got that platform, then we won't be ashamed of what we're facing. Because if we're facing it together, then we can face it. But if you're facing, but you face it by yourself, then you're gonna crumble.
Definitely. See, we banded this word about community. What does community mean? Community, to me, it could be wrong.
Unity.
It's common unity.
Yeah, common unity.
John 2. So it's oneness. It's about oneness.
Yes.
Yeah. Before we move on, Sharice, I mean, obviously you're working in that sort of environment.
Yeah.
Based on what Guled has said, what's the reality? What's the fallout that you see or that you've seen from your?
I would agree.
previous roles?
I think it's the same of like shame and guilt and feeling like their failure as well as their family. But like you said, the community aspect is needed. Not pointing fingers, but realizing that there's a key issue. It's not about so much the parents. Sometimes it's about what they're going in at school or just their stage in their life, and so not pointing the fingers and being a community spirit.
So can I ask then, in terms of what you said about what people are going through at the stage in their life, does that come back to maybe, I don't know, their own sort of well-being, their own sort of self-esteem? Is that one of the factors you would say is that makes a difference there?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, some situations that I've seen, I would say they would think about they weren't good enough, or they felt that they were a failure anyway, so they'll just go into the system. So there's a lot of different factors to do with how they view themselves that we as a community need to build up in them to say, look, you're not going to be a failure. Look, this is just a short a period in your life, or you may have failed your GCSEs, but you can get through it. So
Makes
definitely.
sense. Makes sense. So it's about validation, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about that constant validation, yeah? Okay, great, okay. So Sarah, you've done some mentoring yourself, and you've been a school governor and so forth. What sort of stories do you, are they similar areas that you can talk about?
I would say so. And it's like on the flip side, that idea of unity, there's also an idea of assimilating to sometimes an idea of a box of what it is to be good, what it is to be even black, what it is to be from the Caribbean, what it is. It's like this list of norms and values that you should hold that is not always true. We're so diverse. We're all different people, and we're individuals. And there was something you said, I can't remember what the word was, but what I was thinking was that it's also the acceptance, self-acceptance, but also acceptance of others. Like the story that you was talking about with prison. If you just accept that, okay, they're in prison, but does that mean that the mum's done something bad? Does it mean that there's something genetically wrong with this family? No. And the flip side is now you're doing great things and working.
Now you're doing their kids. I'm trying to help their kids.
Yeah.
And what I expected them to do for my mother. And it's stuff like that, and I don't it seems like in the community, like if two young black boys walk past me right now and they're distressed with a hoodie, it's like I have to get my back up. And why is my back up when I see my own people?
Exactly.
I know that's off the topic, but why is my back up?
No, it's relevant. It is relevant.
Why is my back up? But if two white brothers walk past me, I ain't gonna look twice at them. I'm gonna go about my business. As soon as I'm gonna look back and think, what, are they onto me?
And this is the box
And
again.
this is why
if you are like this, you must be like this. You cannot be educated and proper, wearing a hoodie and looking like a roadman. There is a look of a roadman, yet the biggest criminals in the country probably wear suits.
Exactly. No, that's the reality. So Stephen, look, but teaching in the school, what do you, with the young ones now, day to day, what do you gauge on? What do you see in terms of that label that's put on how people dress, how they're seen and so forth?
I think it's hard for young people because I think they have the media or people put them in such a, as you said, this box, and it's hard for them to kind of break out of it. And the things that I kind of speak about is for them to be proud of themselves. Yeah. And we spoke before, Sola, about, I said, we need to create our own box. I think, at the end of the day, we're trying to fit into this kind of way that it needs to be. Why don't we have our box and people try to fit into how what we're doing? So I try and just speak to my young people about having the mindset, be proud of who you are, be professional, be proud, and don't let anyone tell you anything. You can do it. You can achieve what you want to achieve. Definitely. And also is like, if you need help, call for help.
Don't be ashamed.
There's support out there. Even if I don't know someone, I can signpost you to someone. So it's about having support and knowing where to go if things are not going correct.
Definitely. And that's what we're trying to do here now, isn't it? We're on that move now. We're on the march, as it were. All about changing that narrative. Let's change this negative narrative into a positive one. Reset people's mindset. These are all quips and adages that sound good, but it's the reality. It's about going deep into the issue. And as we said, having these talks like this, hopefully viewers that see, viewers that listen in, they'll want to come on board. They want to give their take, give their view. There's no right or wrong, as it were, but it's about this whole thing of communication,
Community, we need to see, if my neighbour right now, if I have children myself, and my neighbour, and I know my neighbour's child, he's a fast runner or he's a football player, I'm not going to neglect that child. Why am I neglecting that child? Because he's not my child. But you can see his passion, but you're thinking, let me focus on my kid, but have mercy on that child so God can have mercy on your children.
That's right.
You understand? That's what it goes around.
That's right.
You have to be real. And it don't matter if that's not your child. Don't neglect that. Because I had people around me, and I'm saying my friends around me, I had boxers around me. I had footballers around me. I had businessmen around me. But I swear to you, we never ever used to push ourselves. We never used to push us. Get in the ring or you get in a picture and stuff like that. This younger generation, if you see your friend and he's a fast runner, you see if he's a football player, don't matter if you're not a football player, push your friend. Right. Don't worry, push your friend. Because when that door opens, another door will open for you. Don't do anything you want in return. Don't worry, God's got your back.
That's right.
You understand? Yes. That's how to keep it. And we have to get that positive energy out. And it starts from the oldest, man. As us oldest, we need to put that in. Because right now, I've only started doing I've got a YouTube channel, Inspired for Change.
Okay.
I've only started doing that for the last 7-8 weeks.
Yeah.
And the amount of messages that I get from young people. And I'm thinking, this is the kind of message that I'm sending out.
Sure.
And I'm only one person. Imagine there was 10 of me.
Definitely.
That's how you get the team going, man.
And this is what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
As I said, working together, working in collaboration.
Yeah, collaboration, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the link now, we're talking about young people, older people, and forging that, that gap. Because that separation, I think that's a kind of setup thing, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where it's known that if there is that unity, if there is that strength, it's gonna, what I mean? It'll sort of defeat a lot of aspects out there. But the more, it's like a divide and rule thing, isn't it? So keep people apart, keep them separated. There can't be the flow that needs to happen. Yeah.
So it really is important to be inclusive and have a representation of this beautiful African face that's all around the world. We do not have the same stories or the same cultures or the same tongues. I did mention the communities that we have here that may be even Arabic speaking. We have a huge black Muslim community that is not Nation of Islam and has their own history and culture. Yeah. And what we're finding here as well is I'm actually a revert to Islam myself.
Okay.
And you will see a lot of people like myself that have become Muslim from Caribbean background or whatnot. We sometimes end up by taking on this Arab culture because we don't know what does this black Muslim culture that's not Nation of Islam look like. But there is actually a beautiful history. There's an island called Comoros Island, which is in the Indian Ocean near Madagascar.
Okay.
They have been Muslim since the time that Islam was spread by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So the history, it is there, it is rich. And I think just being able to see, a reflection of yourself in the past, it just, it's a better representation to tie people together. We haven't all got the same stories.
Yeah, and I think that's what we need to. I think we need to address that, don't we? We need to absorb that we're not all the same. But hey, at the end of the day, we've got to live together, and we've got to progress together. But it's this whole thing of the unity aspects that we're really trying to really drive home on. Stephen, would you?
Yeah, I just think it's like, as you said, really great. It's about understanding yourself and being proud of yourself. I think we're just so. Some people are just not understanding where they're from and who they are, so they just dismiss all the great stuff that people have done before. So you need to understand yourself from day one and to be proud of yourself, and then have some respect about yourself as well. Yeah. So we need to understand ourselves, and I think platforms like this would just get people to understand about it, and even if they didn't know about it, they would learn something. It's about teaching people as well.
So how do we get this thing? Okay, teaching, you hit on obviously a key point there, teaching, education, raising awareness. Okay, now, today's age, we have social media, don't we, yeah? People knock it, adverse things are said about it, and also good things about it, yeah? So how do we use social media then to get these messages across?
Basically, this is what we're going to do. This is what we should do as a community is, you see when you've got Christmas coming up soon, you've got Eid, and stuff like that. We should treat the same energy on every holiday. You get me? Whoever's celebrating the thing, I say, have an event for them. You don't need to be Muslim. Do something for them. I don't feel.
It's just love, isn't it?
Yeah, it's love.
But
you know what? Man respects my team. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And how can they see? You know what I mean? Because right now it's like we've been separated.
Yeah.
You get me? And this is how we come together. Yeah. Oh, you got what is it? Eid, yeah? All right, cool. Let's celebrate. Oh, what your kids? Has your kids got enough clothes and stuff like that? It's not just about collecting money for Christmas or Muslims collecting money for Muslims. Even the project that I'm doing right now, I mention to people and I let people know this money that I'm raising, £5,000, it's not just for Muslims, not just for Somali people, it's not just for black people, it is people that have been through pain. Souls don't have colour.
Just people, human beings.
Souls don't have colour.
Yeah.
Understand?
True.
We're all the same. We're just being, again, we're just we've got different colour skin. Again, and once we respect each other's backgrounds and roots, then that's how we're going to come together.
Brilliant.
That's what's up.
Brilliant. Excellent.
Because it's a platform where it's international, one person can retweet something from their account that they follow in Nigeria, and then it's on my TL. Okay. And then I see it and I go and research it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what, I want to go and stand for that. I want to go and march with that. Okay. So I think it can be very informative in regards to that. And just seeing how different people are doing different things. Sure. There's so many platforms out there that are podcasts that are working together or talking about mental health in the black community, talking about starting businesses in the black community. There's so many different things that I think social media has opened my eyes to, and that is so accessible to everyone. Yeah. So
brilliant. Okay.
There's a lot of young people not knowing where to go. And that's the whole issue with their mental health issues. They don't know where to find information. So if they can see it on social media, they're always on their phone. So if they can find out where they can get this information, that would be ideal.
Brilliant. And it's good you mentioned this. We've just embarked on a little project, haven't we, with your school, for example.
That's right.
A digital link up, a Digi Summit it's called. 37 countries across the world. Just seeing how they can look at a classroom experience. From different countries all over the world, and it's something just showing how social media can be put to good use. Even on this show, for example, we want to get more young people in, let them have their say. Let's look at their projects. Let's look at their aspirations. And show them, look, these things can be achieved. It's not just talk. How would you personally send that message out? How would you get that sort of activate that?
It's a big, you lot, you don't have nothing to lose. You understand?
If they want to get into a certain career or whatever, you've got to give them that work experience. Let them taste it. Let them feel it. I think it's no point just talking. We have to kind of guide our young people there and show it to them. I think a lot of people talk about things and you can do this, you can do that, I can do that. But if you take them, like literally hold them by their hands and take them and show them, then they would trust you.
Yeah, man.
And then they would trust you. If you give it to them, they would trust you. And then you can just keep, and then what they would do is tell their friends, and that's how it just keeps spreading on.
I was just thinking, when I grew up in the 90s, and as much as his life may have been controversial in some points, Tupac Shakur was one of my inspirations. And one of the quotes that his mum had apparently taught him was 2 ears to listen, 1 mouth to speak. And this is so important to hear what it is that people need. And again, not this narrative of, okay, what can I give you because this is what I have to offer. Even as healers or mentors or just giving inspiration or whatever or advice, whatever the case may be, we need to know what our limits are. And then as a community know when sometimes we can't help a young person, maybe we haven't been through that, maybe we don't have the expertise, but we know someone who does because we've networked.
That's right.
And now we know our limits, we can be genuine and say, do you know, I might not be able to help you with this, but this person can, because I've heard what you said. And genuinely, I want to help you, but I don't need to worry about my ego and my superhero complex here to fix you. I really want to help you on your journey. And this person may be the next stage for you.
So I'm going to go out and implement this now. And you know, listeners, viewers, we're just calling and say, look, anything that you see, look, drop us a line, Real Talk 24/7 on Instagram. Real Talk 0247@gmail.com. Give us your views, give us your responses, because we want to keep this thing rolling. We want to get you interactive, you know, and be healed, yes? Because we're talking about this whole thing of intergenerational healing. It can only happen, isn't it, with the people, the real people concerned, So give us a one-liner in terms of how, from the end of here, we're going to leave and, you know, see where changes are going to manifest. Start with you, Stephen.
One line, oh my gosh.
One liner.
Well, it's not really a one liner. It's just, not like a one liner, but I just want to think what people are seeing today is our raw passion. So I'm just going to call it passion, because what we're talking about is from our heart. And when people see you talk from your heart, they know you're not lying. This is not a makeup thing. We're not. It's not rehearsal. When we haven't got a script, where none of us know what we're going to talk about. We're coming here and we've got passion. So passion.
Passion. Brilliant. Okay. Sarah?
Oh, off the top of my head, inspiration. So, we always look forward to role models, and if you can find somebody that has done something that you would like to do, if they've done it, the chances are you can do it too. It's not impossible, and there's so many amazing, really inspiring stories that you can see the footsteps that somebody took and where they've gone from A to B. And maybe just read in between the lines and see what steps did they take.
Sure.
What steps could I take?
Okay.
Make a plan.
Brilliant. So we've got passion, we've got inspiration. Charisse, I'll give you time to think of it.
I had it.
Okay, you had it. Okay.
You okay?
We'll round up with yours. Round up, Charisse.
I would say elevation.
Elevation?
Yeah.
Okay.
In regards to our mindsets and where we're going, and what is more to come in terms of Real Talk mentors and what else we have in store, whether it be workshops, more TV shows, working collaboratively, just elevation.
Brilliant.
In regards to that.
Okay, thank you.
I would just say we just need consistency. We need to be consistent.
Yeah.
We need to be on the ball, and we need to hear everyone's voice being heard. Understand? There's 4 of us sitting here, but I don't know what's in your mind, Sarah. I don't know what's in your mind, Steve, and I don't know what's on your mind, Miss Charisse. Yeah, sorry.
Come on, you should be.
I know. Charisse. So we should sit down and we should ask ourselves, okay, what do you want to hear? What's your long-term goal, or what's your long-term goal, and sit down and let's not neglect each other. You get me? And just keep it consistent, man. And the love will always be there. But if I'm hearing about what you want to do all day long, or I'm hearing what Sarah wants to do, and no one's not asking me what I want to do, I'm just gonna be. You get me? I'm not gonna be active. So
that's lovely. Okay, so we've heard 4: passion, inspiration, elevation, consistency. All molded together, all thrown into the pot, and we see this as a movement, because this is what it is. It's a movement. It's a mission, And I just want to give thanks for the fact that we're all answering that call, as it were. We're all answering the call to to be out there and be selfless, Yes, because this is not about us. It's about the younger generation. That we've tagged it as that we're plotting ourselves as, to be an asset for a generation.
Yes.
Because it's only right that we show young people now how to protect their legacy and how to protect their heritage. Yeah. So this is what we're all about. So I just want to say thank you to you all. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Therefore.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's that real talk. 24/7, it's time to hear